the seeking to understand. I struggle with this because it's almost viewed as being blasphemous to want to understand God, to want to understand this space-time continuum that we're living in. And I don't feel that way. I feel that if God created all this and all this returns to God, then really God is the only one experiencing all this. We're just along for the ride. I think another way of explaining that would be we're just pieces of the whole. You know, we're a puzzle. We're all pieces to a puzzle. Yet we didn't make the puzzle. So we're kind of along for the ride to experience what the puzzle's going to create. And in understanding this, it's why try to understand? And I question this, you know, it's like, why do I have this drive to understand? And for me, I feel that life had been so uncomfortable for me that I want to understand. I want to know how this space-time continuum works so that I feel better. And if we're given the power of choice by God, by the Creator, then how do I see that choice so that I'm making that choice consciously, so that I'm experiencing what feels good rather than experiencing what doesn't feel good? And many people feel that that's blasphemous, that, oh, at this level we can't understand God. And I feel that if God is the one creating this, then why can God not understand God's self? You know? And why at this level can God not be understood if God is the one that created all this and we came from God and we're going to return to God? So if we understand God, what's the problem? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. So, but then after a conversation from last night, I was pondering that conversation this morning, and I realized that it really doesn't matter what anyone's perception is or where they're at, because at the end of the day, it's God understanding God at whatever level God wants to understand itself based on that person's series of experiences. So in other words, it's like a computer that is connected to the internet, but that computer has the choice of ignoring that internet connection or tapping into the internet connection. And if this is true, then how does the computer learn to pay attention to that internet connection so that it's choosing the websites it wants to visit rather than choosing websites that show up, and the computer doesn't understand how these websites are showing up? But they're all the wrong websites. The websites don't feel good. They're not giving the information that the computer wants. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of share my thought process because I feel that I'm misunderstood for trying to push my perceptions onto people. But in actuality, my perception is always looking, how do I want to learn people's process of understanding so that I can optimize it and see if there's a way of making that process more efficient. So in other words, if someone already invented the wheel, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want to learn how they made the wheel so that I can make the wheel and then see if I can optimize that wheel and make that wheel more efficient. Why? It's 2020 and we still question the existence of God. And I think that's fucking retarded. Like, how has humanity been teaching about God for so many years, so many generations, and we still question the existence, you know? And I feel that, well, we're all trying to, you know, like, for those that have figured out the bits and pieces to the puzzles that they figured out, I feel that they figured it out because they were taught a certain technique or a certain process, and then they take that process and they just regurgitate it. They don't look to optimize it or make it more efficient. And optimization meaning making it more understandable for the time and space that we're living in right now, and making it more efficient in the sense of shortening that time frame of learning it if the person so desires. I do believe that you're going to learn in your due time, but it's kind of like working out. You got some people that, they want to get their bodies in shape in 6 months to a year, and then you got people that want to get in shape in 30 to 60 days. And for those that want to take the 6 months to the year long route, great, take your time, grow slowly. But for those that want to grow in 30 days to 6 months, then where's that training program? Who has that training program? Or can I learn a 6 month to a 1 year program and optimize it and make it more efficient so that I'm doing it in 30 days to 6 months? You see what I mean? Yeah, so this is just a little tidbit, and I'm just putting this out there just to kind of see if anyone jives with this. Am I just loopy and kind of on my own thing? Yeah, share in the comments, and I'd like to see what your perception is. I'd really like to yeah. So thank you, and I'll see you soon. Ciao. Stay in your heart. I love you. And remember, at the end of the day, we're going through all this to figure something out. And I think what that figuring out is, what are our options, and how do we choose the option that feels the best for us. Ciao.